Hello people from YouTube. Welcome to my channel. My name is Javier. I've been teaching math for 7 years now. I'm in Georgia, United States for now, and I've been a teacher for quite some time, and I'm also an engineer. So the goal of this channel is to help people improve their SAT and ACT scores for math because that's my main area of expertise, and I want to help people to get better with their scores. So for this series of videos, we are going to review concepts that appear on the SAT test, like algebra. This is like, for example, this first video that I'm uploading for the SAT test is addressing the algebra section of the test. And I want you guys to feel confident to know that the SAT math test have two sections. You have module 1 and then module 2. So when you take this test, the SAT test is going to ask you easier questions for module 1. And then as you move on through the questions, they are going to get harder in difficulty. The good thing about the SAT test is that if you guys get your questions for module 1 correct, and that's what everybody should aim to do if you want a high score, then the test will give you harder questions for the second section of the math test, which will give you an opportunity to get a higher score. If you fail the questions or you don't answer correctly the questions for the first module of the SAT test, then the opportunity that you are going to have on the second module of the math section to improve your score is going to be very low, because the test is designed in a way that only gives the chance to get higher scores to those students who get the first section or module of the test correct. So with that being said, we're going to start reviewing for algebra. So I hope you like the video. If these videos are useful to you and they are helpful, please share them, like and subscribe, because that gives me motivation to keep helping you guys to improve your math scores. So for the first question that we have here, this question I took it from the SAT website, and I'm going to leave the link in the description below. This question is about algebra. So that's the first skill we are going to review. The question says, how many solutions does the given equation have? And then you have an equation. So you have the left side of the equation, you have it here, and the right side of the equation, you have it here. So my advice is, since you guys have access to the Desmos calculator, use the calculator to solve this question. So this is a line, this is the equation of a line, and this is the equation of another line. So the goal is to see if they intersect, okay? And then if they intersect, then we can answer this question here. We can say if it has 0, 1 solution, 2 solutions, or many solutions. So I invite you to pause the video and go to desmos.com and try to figure it out. And I'm going to do the same here in this video to show you. Okay, guys, so I'm on the website, and as you can see, the website where you guys have to go is Desmos calculator to practice. But then on the test, you have the calculator icon. When you hit the calculator icon, the same screen that you see here, you are going to see it during your test. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to graph the two equations that the SAT is asking me. So the first equation is going to be negative 49x. I'm going to graph it. And then you can see the red line here. So that means that I graphed the first equation. Then for the second equation, I'm going to click on the plus sign expression, and then I'm going to put the second equation with this, which is negative 90x. And as you can see, one graph is red, one graph is blue. So because we cannot see what's going on on the plane, in the XY plane, I'm going to go ahead and zoom. And I can see that they cross, right? So you guys see like the two lines, they get close to each other, closer, closer, closer until they cross. And it seems to me that they close at 0. And it makes sense because when you plug in here 0 for x, both of these equations are 0. So if you plug in here 0, 49 times 0 is equal 0, and negative, Let me go back again. Negative 49 times 0 is equal to 0, and negative 49 and negative 98 times 0 equals 0. So these two equations, they cross at 0, as you can see here. So how many solutions we have? Well, how many times they become equal? They become equal just one time when x equals 0. So if we go back to the slide, then your answer should be, so the system has exactly one solution. We saw that they cross exactly at one point, so your answer should be B. Okay. Another way that you can, if you don't want to use the calculator, which I think is a missed opportunity because the calculator gives you like a really a visual understanding of what's going on. Negative 49x is equal to negative 98x when x equals 0. When x equals 0. Because when you plug in 0 here, these equations, they both equal 0. If you plug in here 0, everything's going to be 0. And on the right side, everything is going to be 0. So that's the only solution that we have for that equation. Okay, so we are going to continue with question 42. It's an algebra question, like I said before, because that's the area that we are reviewing. The question says, in the given system of equations, t is a constant, and then t is the letter that is next to the y. If the system has no solution, what is the value of t? And then before we answer this question, in a Cartesian plane with x and y, a system has no solution if this is your y-axis and this is your x-axis. A system has no solution when the lines are parallel, like if the first line goes this way and the second line goes this way, then the system has no solution because the lines never touch each other. So let's figure this out. So in order to solve this problem, we need to find the slope of the first equation in order to determine how much should be the slope of the second equation that we have here. Because if we know the slope of the first line, let's suppose that this equation goes with this line, then we know that the second line needs to have the exact same slope. So let's solve that problem here. So we have 4x minus 6y, and then that's equal to 10y plus 2. So we need to get rid of the y's because we cannot have y's on both sides. So I'm going to get rid of the 10y. So I'm going to subtract 10y on both sides of the equations. And I'm going to subtract it on this side of the equation, the 10y. And that leaves me with 4x because I'm not subtracting the x. Then they add each other. So negative 6 minus negative 10, that is negative 16y. And then on this side, this positive 10y and this negative 10y, they cancel each other out. And then I have plus 2. And then this is my plus 2. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, because I need to get rid of the negative, I need to get rid of the 4x. So I'm going to subtract 4x on both sides. And I'm going to subtract it on this side too, because what I do on one side, I have to do exactly on the other side. Then let's see what is left. So we have, they cancel each other out. So we have negative 16 equals, negative 16y equals, and I have negative 4x plus 2. Now I'm going to get rid of the, and this is a 2. I'm going to get rid of the negative 16, so I'm going to divide, and I'm going to use a different color so we can see it. I need to divide everything by negative 16. And I need to divide everything on the right side by negative 16. Okay, I'm dividing this side also, everything by negative 16. Negative 16. So these cancel each other out, and then I have that y equals to 4 negative divided by here. Negative divided by negative gives me positive, so this is going to be x over 4. This is a 4 plus, oh, it's going to be negative because on this side it's going to be negative. So let me fix it. Because I have positive 2 divided by negative 16, that's going to be negative. And then it's going to be 1, half of 2 is 1, and half of 16 is 8. So the slope that we are looking for is 1/4, because we have it here. So x over 4, the slope is 1/4. Slope should be 1/4. So we know that the second line needs to have a slope of 1/4. So this line here, the slope of this line, so this slope here, the slope of this line needs to be 1/4. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, and because we know the slope of the first line, I'm gonna erase everything and find the slope of the second line. Okay, so now for my second equation, I have that ty equals 2, then we have half plus 2x. This is half plus 2x. So what we are gonna do now, we are gonna solve for y. Let's see. So because the t is multiplying the y, I need to divide everything by t. And that's what we are gonna do right now. So we are gonna divide the whole equation, the left side divided by t. We're gonna divide the 1/2 by t. Then we're gonna divide the 2x divided by t. So when we do that, these t's, they cancel each other out, and then we are left with y, which equals 2. Then when we divide the half by t, we put the t over 1, then we multiply the extremes, and then the big C, I'm going to show you here. These numbers are the extreme 1 times 1, and then the inner numbers 2 times t. 2 times t, so it's going to be 1 times 1 is going to be 1 over 2t, which doesn't matter because that's not the slope. So I mean, we're solving it just so you know where we're getting it from, but for the problem it's not important. And then so we have 2x divided by t. So we have plus, and I'm gonna do it here just so I don't have everything together. So we have 2 over tx. Now, because of what we spoke earlier about, we know that the slope is the coefficient that is in front of the x. So in this case, it's 2t. We know that 2 over t, so we know that 2 over t has to be equal to 1/4. So this has to be equal to 1/4 because that's what we want the slope to be. Now, if we solve for t, we multiply this side by t because the t is dividing, so we need 1t multiplying so they cancel each other out. And then we multiply this side times t. So these t cancel each other out. Then we are left with 2, which equals 2 t over 4. T over 4. Now, because the 4 is dividing, I have to multiply this side by 4. I'm going to put it here, times 4. And this side by 4. So now these cancel each other out, and then t equals 8. And that's the answer that I'm looking for. So that I know that t has to be equal to 8. So that means that this number here has to be 8. And my answer, this is an 8, and my answer when I type it should be 8. Okay, so with your keyboard, you're going to input that answer in your answer box. And then I'm going to pause the video, and I encourage you to pause the video and graph the equations so you see that the solution is correct. So I'm going to write the equation, then I'm going to graph them. Okay, so I'm gonna show the equations quickly because the next step that I'm gonna show you is the solution, guys, of the equations. This is the first equation that we had, y equals to x divided by 4 minus 1 over 8, and the second equation was 8. Okay, so guys, in summary, so this is the first equation after we solved for y, so we could find the slope, and we knew that the slope was 1/4. And the second equation, we just plug in t. So we have 8y equals to 1/2 plus 2x. So what I'm going to do now that you saw the equations, I'm going to graph these same equations on Desmos.com so we can check the accuracy of our answer. So I'm going to pause the video, and I encourage you to pause the video and go to Desmos so you know how to use the calculator for your test. On the next screen, I'm going to show you the lines and see if the system has no solution, okay? Okay, guys, so I'm on Desmos now, and you are gonna see me type in the equation. The first equation was y equals 2. I'm gonna open parentheses to make sure that the 4 is only dividing the x. So I'm gonna put x over 4, and then I'm gonna get out of these parentheses, and then I'm gonna close it, and I'm gonna put plus sign, hold on, so plus sign. Then and the other number we had was oh, it was negative 1/8. So I need to put minus 1 over 8. So that was the first line. Then I'm gonna hit the plus sign. I'm gonna hit expression, and then I'm gonna put my second expression, which was 8y equals to 1/2, that I'm gonna put in parentheses to make sure that the parenthesis is only for the half, plus 2x. So I'm gonna hit enter, and I'm gonna let the Desmos graph the functions. Let me see. So now, when you see here, guys, I moved because I didn't see anything, and that may happen to you. You can, like, with your pointer and your mouse, you can move the screen so you can see. You can see that the lines are parallel, so they never cross each other. So we were right. The coefficient or the value of t has to be 8, and you can see here that the lines are parallel and the system has no solution. So in this video, we are going to stop for now here, and then we knew that the answer for this was 8. So if these videos are helpful for you, please help me motivate myself to keep helping people. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. I'm gonna keep posting more videos to help you guys. I hope this was clear to understand, and I hope it was helpful. So I see you soon, and thank you for watching. Bye.